let's say you could tell any kid, anybody younger, anybody older, anybody who seems to pay more attention to technology and social media and XYZ, what's something that you would want to tell them about either learning how to communicate in person, trying it out, getting out of their comfort zone, whatever? What would you tell them or ask them?
Say the first thing, pull your head out of the screen. And this goes back to, as far as getting out of your comfort zone, this goes to an article or an interview I read with Larry King. But in this interview, they asked Larry King how he became so good at interviewing people, how he became so good at talking to anyone and everyone. And he says, well, first and foremost, I was not a very outgoing or talkative kid. I was not very good at talking to people. And I realized at one point that communication was almost like anything else. If you want to get good at it, you have to practice. And so he said, the more I practiced, the better I got. But the thing that I realized is when it was a more difficult conversation, I would really force myself to engage and keep this conversation going. And those were the ones that he learned the most in. So if you want to become a better communicator, if you want to be able to talk to anybody or be outgoing, practice. You got to go out and you got to talk to people that you don't really want to talk to. But you have to engage with them, ask them questions, listen, most importantly, listen to what they say, rather than thinking about the next thing that you're going to say as they're answering your question.
Asking questions, I think, is the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I learned, is I gotta ask questions. I have no idea about this person. The only way I can know is if I ask questions. I can't just talk like I know him, in the sense of, I have no idea what to talk about yet. So I need to know more.
Say what you mean and mean what you say. To really practice on being articulate. What's the saying I'm looking for? To be impeccable with your word.
I like that.
So, broad statements, try to get rid of all those. Direct statements, state directly how you feel, what you think, what you're trying to say. And the more you practice at doing that, the clearer the understanding of what you're trying to communicate is going to be. So if you're always talking in broad terms or speculatory conversation or what ifs or maybes, your conversations make no sense.
Yeah.
You're not ever going to convey your point to where you say, this is how I feel about this situation. This is your key role in this situation. Here's what I think our solution is. How can we fix this?
A key part to communication is you also have to care.
Yeah,
You have to care about the other human being enough to want to know about them, to want to engage in conversation. You have to care.
He and I are probably in the same boat, being large individuals. We really had to learn how to throttle back, because even the slightest elevation of our expression and emotion tends to freak people out. And so if we got to take it down a notch, especially if they already know they're in the wrong, because they're defensive. So if you even raise up just a little bit, it's a tenfold aggressive move on their receiving it. And they will never hear what you have to say.
I've had people tell me, quit yelling at me, and I haven't even
Raise your voice.
came close to raising my voice. But it was my body language. It was me trying to convey to them the seriousness of the situation.
Well, body language, and it's probably triggering a bunch of stuff from their past.
But you see smaller individuals, they
get away with it.
Get away with it. It's like a Great Dane versus a Chihuahua.
What do you use to make your communication effective?
Effective, and going with the two of you specifically, having your own messages that you like to give out and want to help others with in the world. What do you do to communicate that in person with others.
Sincerity is a big thing. So when you've lived it, breathed it, and thought about it over and over and over, relentlessly, and picked it apart in your own head, and really experienced it, you know, not just learned it from a book, but what I call, because it's a weightlifting term, time under tension. You can have an experience that you can teach me all about, but I will never truly know what it is to have gone through that hell or that wonderful experience, whatever it may be, unless I actually lived it and spent the hours and the days in it. Because that changes you physiologically, it changes hormones and chemical patterns. If you want to effectively communicate a message with somebody, you need to have felt whatever it is you're trying to express in every cell of your body, every fiber of your being. So that when you say it, it comes out and you project that exact meaning and that intensity and that feeling. So that people, when you experience or when you talk to somebody in person, you can tell when they're being genuine just by how they push the message out of their body. Not just say it out of their mouth, but I mean, like right now, I'm kind of paying attention to how I say this. I lean into it, and I'm pulling it out of me with my hands because I really mean what I'm saying. And so that, for me, that's an effective means of communication. And it's something you can't experience unless you are there in person, seeing it and feeling it. I mean, I guess you could see a video of it, but being here in person right now, you can feel the energy. And I think that is the pinnacle of communication.
So my communication with another human being starts before I even talk to him.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
He's in the mood tonight.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
So, it's a learned behavior, and it has to do a lot with my stature. How I walk up to somebody
I know exactly what you're talking
speaks
about.
volumes on what kind of conversation I'm going to have with that person. Now, knowing that I know I'm in full control of the type of conversation I'm going to have. So as a sign of respect, mutual respect, right out of the gate, I'll walk in a slower, I don't want to say methodical, but slower pace, not in a hurry. And I will stop arm's length short to give them personal space.
Being gentle.
Being gentle. There's people that don't do that. And they come here and they start their conversation here. But what's your natural reaction? Now I don't even want to fucking hear what you have to say. You invade my personal space, I'm uncomfortable. Regardless of who you are. It's uncomfortable to have somebody here. So I've always started my conversation to where when I go to shake their hand, I have to lean in.
Yeah. It's a safe distance.
It's a safe distance. It's to let them know that my conversation right now is going to be beneficial. It's going to be a safe time to speak. If I don't want to convey that message, I walk at a faster pace and I come right up to them. Now there's no room to shake hands. There's no room for you to back away. There's no room for you to walk away.
Safe space.
Now you're trapped. Now we're going to have talk. Now that depends on the type of conversation.
Different form of communication.
Now, I don't know if this is as much of being a female with males or not, but I've had my fair share of males come up to me like you were saying, with very just in your face.
Yeah.
Whether it's they're hitting on me or they're just in my face and they have absolutely no social cues whatsoever.
There's a lot of people lacking in that.
Yeah. But it's always been interesting to me because being from multiple perspectives of when I had not healthy boundaries perhaps, I was more of the, like, I just wanted to leave, you know, like get away from me kind of thing. Which works horribly with people who have no social cues because they can't read body language at all. They don't even see it.
They don't even know.
They don't even know it's there.
They don't even know what they're saying to you.
So subconsciously all they're doing is I'm moving away, so they're just, oh, well they're going, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going, right? So I started to learn after a while of somebody gets in my face, just getting right back in their face. It does two things. Is one, it either like jolts somebody into like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, or they can enjoy it, depending. It could be but if it's that point, then there have been some interesting times where I've had to get into, I don't want to necessarily say get into a man's face, but be assertive in the sense of, hey, this thing you're doing, knock it the fuck off. Well, on that note, thanks for watching. Now please get off your computer, off your phone. Go say hi to somebody you don't know. Go ask somebody a question that you don't know the answer to. Whatever it may be, acknowledge another human being. Look them in the eye when you interact with them. Open a door for somebody, whatever it may be. Just go out and attempt some communication and attempt to acknowledge another human being. Feel free to leave any comments. Feel free to share. Do subscribe and tune in for next time. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
And then go and do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Howard Washington Thurman. That's surprisingly difficult to be that bad. Okay.
You can tie this one right into laughter.
Yeah, but let's just wrap this up so at the end, and then it's easier for me to unload it. And
I thought we were going to do longer videos.
No, you thought we were going to do longer videos. We did not. You thought.
Equal rights, ladies and gentlemen. She now has a say in this world.
Oh my god. You're gonna get punched in the fucking stomach one of these days. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm either gonna elbow or just pick up and bam.
Just domestic violence.
She's dangerous with the elbows and the knees. You gotta watch that.
I've seen her abuse you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hashtag me too.
She loves you. She really loves you. I just make her mad sometimes.
I know, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
fault.
No problem.
The stairs are steep. Okay.
Cabinet doors and, I don't know, they're sharp. Edges are sharp. Stairs are slick.